like Sharp and Olam. They played well in that forward line in the first quarter.
Here's the ball up once again, and it's Leslie Beaton this time. The ball out towards Evan Connick. He gets the ball further afield, and there's Steve Buckle well out in front of Sharp on that particular occasion to take the mark. Buckle next to go, straight down midfield as players set themselves off the hands of the pack. Jay McNeil couldn't get it. Beautifully passed out there by Smith. Gets it across, however, Leslie picks it up. In coming Evan Connick, picked up by Jay McNeil. His good football as he drives the Tigers forward. Almost a mark to Smith, a very, very gutsy mark on that occasion. In comes Durland. Wodonga throwing themselves on top of the ball. Could have been a free kick around the neck to the Wodonga player, but the umpire has elected to ball it up about 40 metres out from the Albury goal. Big Tom Doolan doing the ruck work. He's doing the ruck work for the Albury side this time. He was doing it with Allen. It's Wodonga that went out through the agency of Connick. He goes forward up towards the centre half forward position. And a beautiful mark to the Morris medalist in Wod Coelho. He runs into trouble. Could have been off. I thought he could have played off then, Bruce.
He could have too, my word. And here's Coelho now coming in, and by G's been an effective player in that back line.
Oh, great centre half back up towards Tom Doolan. Over the back with Smith. Couldn't hold it. Out comes Terry Doolan. Gets a hand pass. Beautiful football by Wodonga. They're caught. Could have almost been holding the ball as it goes out to Hensel. He shoots a hand pass this time towards Wixon. He gets a long one towards Jay McNeil as he fires it in towards the goal. Looking for big Darryl Bakes up over the pack. Couldn't do so. Out comes Wood in defence for Wodonga and runs it over the boundary line. Is good defence by the Wodonga backman.
Now there's a good example of how that Albury defence should have been when the mark was taken by Turner down there. The Wodonga players punched the ball away that time, Jim.
That's right, Bruce. There's a free kick against Tom Doolan, and Wodonga holding Albury out well at this stage as Allen is about to take the free kick. Here's his kick up towards our broadcasting side of the ground as Big Leslie is outmanoeuvred. As you saw the push in the back, the umpire spotted it, and the big Trevor Leslie takes the mark or the free kick. He gets it up towards the full forward zone. Bakes flying from behind, couldn't hold it. He's not having a good day. Doolan gets the ball out towards McNeil, picked up by Byatt. There's a free kick. It's got to be around the ankle, and Byatt, Phil Byatt, the Albury forward pocket, who's averaged 4 goals a game in the final series, will take the free kick, and this is a vital kick coming from the boot of Phil Byatt.
He's a very effective forward pocket player, Phil Byatt, and this is a big opportunity now for Albury to get right back in this game as they trail at the moment. There's Byatt's kick. It's straight in two, takes another 2-5 now, gradually getting closer to the Wodonga, and that's in the first 5 minutes of this second quarter of the 1981 grand final. A great shot for goal that time by Phil Byatt, and he's a player the Wodonga are going to have to watch every inch of the way, I'd suggest.
Yes, this is one of the good things about the Albury attack. Not only have you got to worry about the ability of big Darryl Bakes at full forward, you've also got to worry about the ability of Byatt in that forward pocket as the ball comes back to central umpire Bryant. Trevor Leslie hasn't had a spell here so far. We'll do the ruck work with Brett Allen. Up they go, and it's Allen that wins the tap on this particular occasion, but none of the Rovers are able to really take advantage of it. Grote overruns the ball, could be around the neck, and there's the free kick.
Evan Connick.
Payne, the push in the back to the centre man for Wodonga in Evan Connick. He shoots a long one down towards the full forward zone, looking for Turner. He has 3 men on him on that particular occasion as the ball comes out this time in the direction of Campbell. He gets the ball up towards the full forward zone. Coelho underneath it, couldn't get to it. Picked up by Wodonga, driven forward, and a 3-for-1 behind only. But Albury tackling well there in that back line at the moment, Bruce.
Yes, they are. They've got a pretty solid defence there, but I think the Wodonga, even though they have got the wind against them, they're still pressing forward, Jim, and they're going to be pretty hard to keep out, I think, this quarter.
Yes, there's Buckle with a kick out from the full-back position over the head of the pack, and that's caused by the wind. Connick, well, that was a doubtful one. Connick probably had the ball there, and the umpire played it holding the man. There's the kick, and it's Rod Coelho dropping short in that centre half-back position, takes the strong mark.
Connick's come into the game much more this quarter, Jim.
Yes, my word. There's the ball up towards the centre field, and Wodonga break loose. There's a bad piece of football picked up this time by Mark Ryan. He gets a long hand pass across towards Peter Cross, and away we go with Albury, looking for Tom Doolan on that half-forward flank. Can he keep it in? Yes, he can, as he puts it onto his left foot, hooks it back towards the scoring zone, and the big Darryl Bakes comes out with a roar of the crowd, leading well out in front of that good football by big Tom Doolan. He hooked it back into the scoring zone, And Darryl Bates now about 35 to 45 metres out from goal.
Shouldn't have much trouble getting the distance anyway,
No,
Jim.
he'll
With this
get
one,
the
he's got the
distance
wind
with no
behind
worries,
him.
and a goal here now would greatly boost Darryl Bates' confidence as he comes in, shoots for the big timber. It could be offline, the goal umpire moving, and Albury wasting opportunities in that forward line. They need goals on the board, and they're only kicking behinds as they go now to 2 goals 6, trailing Wodonga 4 goals 3.
That's right, and this is where they kicked themselves out of that first quarter too, Jim. They had an opportunity there of scoring some goals in the first quarter, and they're kicking points again now in the second term.
Yes, as Wodonga get the ball away, and it's Peter Cross. He dummies nicely, caught, could have been holding the ball. Play on, says the umpire, as Wodonga this time through the agency of Walsh. Try to break loose, can't do so, and the ball is out of bounds on the far side of the ground, just in front of the small scoreboard, which reads Wodonga 4 goals 3, 27, Albury 2 goals 6, 18, as McLeish gets one around the neck, and we'll wait for the umpire's decision now. You can see it there.
That's right.
And the captain coach of Wodonga gets the free kick. He'll no doubt swing it across. No, he's not. I thought he'd swing it across towards the centre half forward position. He doesn't do so. And Buckle underneath it, and the mark has been paid, and the free kick to Buckle on that particular occasion.
One of the best Albury defenders, Jim, in this quarter.
Yes, playing well as he puts a long, low one up towards the midfield position. Hensel almost got it. Big Tom Doolan comes out. Albury need a confidence builder, as it's picked up this time by Terry Cross, but the kick is astray, and McLeish, who's leading his side particularly well, takes the mark in the midfield position. And Peter Cross could very easily have done a 15-metre penalty on that occasion. Here comes a high up and under from Dave McLeish down towards the forward line. Terry Cross couldn't handle the ball, punches it further afield. In comes Grote. He was met solidly by Coelho, and the umpire has elected to ball it up about 40 metres out from the Wodonga goal. Albury defence under pressure now as Trevor Leslie comes up. He gets the long punch, goes towards Grote. He turns around onto his left foot, puts it up into the 10-yard square. Danger for the Albury side. Players fly high, and at the last minute, the ball punched out of bounds by the big fellow in Peter Taylor, the fullback for the Albury combination. But Albury should be doing better here with the breeze. They're not directing the ball enough at the moment. They're not kicking well enough. And here's the throw-in as players set themselves. Over the back was Leslie. Comes this time in the direction of the Albury rover as he can't pick it up. Picked up finally this time by Walsh. A lucky one goes towards Terry Cross, up towards Tom Doolan. Over the head of big Tom Doolan. Ball bouncing awkwardly, picked up by Wood. His kick's not a good one. In comes Hensel. He's met solidly. Hensel playing the ball now well in front of him, close to the boundary line. He should be able to pick it up. He finally gets a hand pass to Peter Cross, and Peter Cross gets one around the neck. And that could have been a bit of an evener-upper anyway. Could have been the evener-upper, and anyway, Peter Cross now with the ball, looking for Darryl Bates up the full forward zone, over the head of the pack. No one able to get it. Bryant keep trying desperately to keep it in. Can't do so, and the ball goes out of bounds in the Albury forward zone, with Albury trailing 4 goals 3 to 2 goals 6.
Well, Wodonga defence under pressure now, but by gee, they've been performing well in this quarter. They're punching the ball away from the Albury forwards and making it very difficult for them to get a clear shot at goal.
Yes, there's Wheeler now, breaking loose, gets a hand pass out towards Greg Wood. It's a beautiful pass by Wood down to Campbell. Good hand pass, and it's down there. And this is lucky for the Albury side, because the ball right down the far end of the ground. Wodonga doing it well, but Albury break loose. The umpires pulled it up down the far end.
The umpire's unsighted. The play's been going on, as you can see. But now, of course, the umpire's sorting out things down.
It'll be just a matter of where the umpire is going to actually ball it up. Having a word with Tom Doolan. Doolan actually was only just patting Wheeler on the head.
I think it was
telling him he was a good little boy.
That's right, that's right. A pretty big hand to be patting on the head, though, Jim.
But there's the ball. Will have to be bounced on the Albury half-forward line. The umpire, of course, having to go right back and break up that melee.
It was a nice bit of football down here while the melee was going.
Yes, it was, as a matter of fact. Players. Here's the ball up once again. Allen and Trevor Leslie doing battle on that occasion. Picked up by Heather. He gets a hand pass out towards Raz Reid. Raz Reid holding the ball against Reid on that occasion. Far too slow to get rid of it. And the free kick going to the flying Johnny Collins. Collins backward of the central wing position, puts it up towards the centre. Coelho trying to get in front position, can't do so. And a big mark has been taken by Oland at the centre half-forward position.
Taking some nice grabs today,
yes,
too,
he's
Oland.
A very tall mark, a good mark, as he puts the ball up towards the full forward position as Taylor tries to punch it away. Picked up by Wortman. His kick is not a good one. This lets Albury off the hook as Mark Reid trying to pick it up, has all the time in the world. Now he does so. runs his full 10 metres, gets it out to the far side of the ground. But Tony Heather beautifully out-positioned on that occasion by the back pocket or half-back flanker in Terry Doolan. He'd be Wodonga's best player at this stage as he puts the ball up towards the half-forward line, and a beautiful mark has been taken on the half-back flank by Mark Ryan.
Mark Ryan's come well into the game too. It's Wodonga going into plenty of attack in this quarter, but Mark Ryan's been holding things pretty well down there.
Yes, there's his kick up towards Tom Doolan at centre half forward. Oh, there was a free kick. No, said the umpire, as the ball's taken away for Wodonga by Marks, who's on the ground. Gets it up towards his centre half forward position, and big Trevor Leslie, the arms go up, and the brilliant ruckman takes the big grab. He puts the ball up to centre half forward. Tom Doolan with two players on him. All of them miss it. Goes towards Craig. He shoots a long hand pass towards Terry Doolan. He's tripped, and the free kick will go to the brilliant halfback flanker.
He'd have to be close to the best man on the ground, I think, Terry Doolan at the moment.
Oh, yes, hand passes towards Bobby Craig. He gets it out to the far side of the ground. Ryan now, dumming nicely, puts it onto his left foot. Underneath this Doolan. He can't get it on that occasion. That was David Doolan. And once again, it's Terry Doolan. He puts a high up and under. His players set themselves, and a beautiful mark to McLeish. He's playing well, leading his side well as he gets the ball further afield. Underneath it on that occasion was Peter Cross, but he was brilliantly outmanoeuvred by his Wodonga opponent. There's the kick up towards the centre half forward position. Terry Cross underneath it. Players rise high, can't do so. In there was Dickinson trying to break loose. Gets it across to Peter Cross. Away go the Tigers. Down, and it's almost a brilliant mark as Tom Doolan, reading the play well, gets it across to Bakes. And well, there's no doubt about it. That was a brilliant passage of football as the ball came down. Tom Doolan read it off the pack very well, Bruce, and unselfishly saw Darryl Bakes and just whipped over the hand pass. And this is the sort of play that the Tigers have been looking for.
That's right. Well, of course, Bakes was in their beautiful position, and that was a bit of a turn then for the Wodonga backman to be playing some loose football that time, Jim, because they left Bakes right in his own, and you can't afford to leave a player like Darryl Bakes on his own under, in a final like this, particularly when Doolan coming down the ground. He had the run of the ball, and Juice was very unselfish play. He could have had a shot for goal himself, but why do that when you've got your champion full forward in perfect position? So it's 3-6-24. The Tigers now trailing by 3 points, 4-3-27, 15 minutes into the second quarter.
Yes, I noticed now Wodonga have made a few positional changes. Prendergast is at centre half back, and Stephen Smithers at the full back position to try and counter Tom Doolan and Darryl Bakes as Wodonga go forward. Out on that far side now. Get the ball up towards centre half forward. Rod Coelho in front. Gets the ball down in front of him. Good play as Terry Cross picks up the overflow. Oh, Heather should have had the free kick paid against him. He has. And Heather fine. Yes, he went up before first acceptances. And once again, Terry Doolan gets the free kick. There's Wodonga now going forward through the agency of Collins. He comes in towards goal, has a shot looking for Turner. Once again is very, very slack defence on the behalf of Peter Taylor, the fullback for the Albury side.
But there again, Jim, let's face it, David Turner had exactly the same run at the ball that time as we saw just a moment ago from the Albury full forward in Darryl Bakes. Well, and there's, he's converted, and that's put the answering goal on the board only about a minute and a half after Albury got their third goal on the board. There's another one going on the board now, the second one this quarter for David Turner, and that was a beautiful bit of play from Collins. And as he shot around the far flank of the ground, chopped the ball down there to Turner, who outmanoeuvred his full-back, took the ball right in the 10-metre square and shot it through to put them on now to 5-3, 33, 3-6-24, played about 16, 17 minutes in the second quarter.
There's no doubt about it, though. First, Peter Taylor will have to start. He should realise now that he's got a good mark on him. You have to start punching the ball away. Right. There's the ball, a bad one in the centre of the ground, and Wodonga almost took it away through McLeish on that occasion. McLeish gets the ball further afield. Peter Cross doing battle with him, and there's in the back to Peter Cross, and he'll take the free kick midfield.
He's a tough opponent too, Peter
Yes,
Cross.
my word, they're having a great battle here, Peter Cross and McLeish. And a beautiful mark by Bakes. My word, that was read beautifully. Players flew all around him. He read it beautifully and just stood his ground. Yep. And now he's about 35, 40 metres out, directly in front. The breeze behind him. What
great stuff the last 5 minutes of football, Jim.
Yes, my word. He's already got one major on the board, and can he put his second as he shoots for the big timber? The goal umpire hasn't moved. And that's the fourth major on the board to the Albury side, the second to Darryl Bakes. And Reynolds has now gone back onto Bakes. They're switching full-backs, Wodonga. They're obviously worried by the brilliance of Bakes. Wodonga now 5 goals, 3-33. Albury 4 goals, 6-30. And they've got Stephen Smith out to centre half-back, and Wayne Prendergast has gone to the flank.
That's right, well, they've got to make some changes when Bakes has got away twice in the space of 5 minutes. Got a couple of very, very good goals on the board. And by gee, we've got a game of football in our hands here, Jim.
Yes, and I notice also that Albury have changed half-forward flanks, but Terry Doolan has gone across with Heather, so he's obviously, his job today is to tag Heather, and Prendergast is on Jay McNeil.
Pretty reasonable assignment, that too.
My word, here's the ball in the centre of the ground once again, and the players set themselves. It's almost no contest there. Could have been a free kick to Albury. There it is. And the free kick this way going towards Rickson. Gavin Rickson, the champion Albury Rover now. It's a good kick from the new Rover. Looking for the full forward position. Punched away, goes towards Heather. He'll shoot the hand pass out to David Doolan. David Doolan's kick, a very, very poor one. Had plenty of time to line up. And the ball well offline, and Albury creep 1 point closer to make 2 points the difference here as we now come to the 18-minute mark of the second term. Reynolds with the ball from the full-back position, the ball swinging wide. The players trying to keep it in bounds, just do so. Evan Connick just gets his hand to it to keep it in play.
Well, Connick was firing pretty well for Wodonga in the first 5 minutes or 6 minutes of this quarter, but he's gone out of the game a little bit now.
Yes, there's the tap into Allen, but Leslie reading it well, punches the ball further afield. Craig with the ball, he's unloaded, picked up by Heather, across to Tom Doolan. He gets one around the neck. Play on, says the umpire. It stacks on the mill. Should have been balled up. Now it is. And the umpire balled it up directly in front of the scoreboard, which reads 5 goals, 3-33 to Wodonga. 4 goals, 7-31 to Albury.
A couple of old campaigners in a tussle there with Bobby Craig and Tom Doolan.
They were both looking for free kicks, actually. The ball very close to the boundary line. Stephen Smith trying to keep it in now. In goes Rickson. He can't control the ball. Wood there. And the umpire said, I'll have it once again. Umpire Bryant with a very hectic game on his hands here. Played at breakneck pace as the players set themselves. Goes towards Wodonga there, picked up by Connick. He gets a hand pass to Great. Great's kick further afield. Underneath it is McLeish. Beautiful football by Peter Cross. Takes it off McLeish. Down to the forward line. Beautiful one-hander. What a mark. Oh, what a great mark. Well, if it wasn't a mark, it should have been a free kick because Bakes could only get one hand of the ball. The other hand was firmly held behind his back by the full-back. And there's a beautiful piece of football by Darryl Bakes. And this must start Wodonga wondering just what they've got to do to control this big full forward.
Bryant looks a little bit proppy there too, Jim. You notice him walking out of the 10-metre square there. He could have got a slight leg injury there, but here's Bakes coming in now to have a shot for goal. This could be his third for the quarter. Well, a beautiful kick that time from Darryl Bakes, and it was a well-deserved result too because his Jim City was firmly held that time, went for the mark just with one hand, and if it hadn't been a mark paid to him, it would have definitely been a free kick. The Albury supporters go berserk now as they've hit the front, and this is around about the 21-minute mark of this quarter, and another great goal from Darryl Bakes.
Darryl Bakes has kicked the 3rd, 4th and a 5th goal for the Albury side. So no wonder that the Wodonga backmen are pretty worried about him at this stage as the ball comes back, and Albury now hitting the front by 4 points, as you heard Bruce Way say. There's the ball up in the centre of the ground. Neither ruckman able to get the advantage. Picked up by Evan Connick, driven forward. The ball bounces awkwardly. Peter Tyler, he comes across, can't get the ball. Albury desperately trying to get the ball as Wheeler throws the ball loose. Picked up by Buckle, he's met heavily. And Robbie Great, midfield, takes the mark on the central wing. Robbie Great, the speedster on the half-back line now. The wind holding up the ball. Underneath it was Coelho. No one is able to get it. Tyler standing there having a look at it as the reliable Terry Cross comes in and the ball bounces right on the boundary line. Well, the umpire said it was out on the full.
Definitely was, Jim.
And we'll probably have that right on camera and you'll be able to see that the umpire was possibly right. Here's the best man on the ground. He puts the ball upfield. Terry Doolan punched away by Big Leslie. Coming to the ball is Hensel, but the ball beats them all out and over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. Very tense second term here as we come now to about the 23-minute mark of the second term. Here's the throw in. Leslie doing the ruck work. Neither ruckman is able to gain the advantage as Connick gets the ball, picked up by brick walls. He gets it up towards Heather. The ball bounces awkwardly. Tom Doolan tries to tap it further afield. Ball close to the boundary line, directly in front of our broadcasting position and out of bounds. Tom Doolan to do the ruck work for the Tigers, well away from the centre half forward position. Players set themselves, up they go. Could have been a free kick to Wodonga, there it is. And the big free kick going to the Wodonga ruckman in Brett Allen. He's played a major role here for Wodonga this afternoon. Allen now with the ball, puts it up towards his half-forward line. Players set themselves, it's all Wodonga.
Oh, great mark.
Beautiful mark here taken for the Wodonga side by Sharp.
Sharp was one of the high markers that took the Rovers apart in last week's game.
Yes,
Jimmy.
my word, looking for Taylor, but beautifully in front on that particular occasion is Taylor. Well in front of Turner, and that's what Peter Taylor's got to do. He's got to get up and get in front. Here's the kick, an awkward-looking kick from Taylor, but effective, up towards the midfield position, and the umpires paid the mark, and once again it's going to Brett Allen. My word, this player is a tremendous dynamo for the Wodonga side. There's his kick. Now it's coming down with a breeze. Coeli underneath it, almost a mark. Play on, says the umpire. Coeli didn't have that one first, as you saw. There's the hand pass.
Oh.
A very lucky one as Wortman picks it up right into the 10-yard square, and underneath it is the reliable Buckle. Buckle now out to the far side of the ground. This is where Albury's got to get it, away from the scoring flank, as McLeish marks in front of Doolan on that particular occasion.
Well, the two captains are playing great leadership games, aren't they, Jim?
Yes, my word, they are. McLeish now with the ball, putting the ball right up into the 10-yard square. As players set themselves, over the back is Leslie, in front was Turner. Play on, says the umpires. The ball is very close to the boundary line, and it's out and over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. With the scoreboard reading, Wodonga 5 goals 333 to Albury 5 goals 737. Leslie now getting the tap out. He's punching the ball, not tapping it as it comes to Collins, holding the man, but the umpire didn't see that one, and the Wodonga were a little unlucky that Collins didn't get the free kick. Here comes Leslie punching the ball clear once again. Rickson coming to the ball. In comes Connick. Oh, that was rough and tumble, as we see the umpire having a few words to say. And the free kick going to go the way of Wodonga to be taken by Connick. He puts the ball up into the 10-yard square. Taylor underneath it. Turner's also there, off the hands of the pack.
It's a goal! It's a goal! What a brilliant kick!
Well, a few of the Albury players are not too happy about that one. They're having a few words to say, but that was apparently a goal, and once again, the Albury defence letting Wodonga into this game all the time, Bruce.
That's right, and you noticed how well Wodonga are kicking into that breeze. Admittedly, they may have had kicking across that far flank there. It could have been more breeze with them than against them, but by gee, they've still driven the ball forward, Jim, and they've held on well this quarter.
Yes, my word, they have. As saw Leslie cops one there, and that was a nasty elbow. The umpire saw it, and it goes in the direction this time of the player in the Byatt. Oh, he rode the bump well, couldn't quite read the play properly. Comes towards Dickinson, and he grabbed while in possession, and the free kick going the way of Wodonga. Wodonga in the last line of defence there now. Good pressure football here. The ball kicked, the umpire not happy with proceedings at the moment, and the free kick once again, and a 15-metre penalty, this time once again against Brian Dickinson. Here's the kick up towards our broadcasting position. Players set themselves, Hensel in the front position, and young Hensel, oh, that was a bad decision. That was a very, very poor decision, Bruce.
Yes, I thought he could have played.
Yes, Hensel had his hands on the ball and brought it down. It was a very poor decision. And Great now with the ball up towards his centre half forward position. There's a mark, and Wodonga breaking loose now through the agency of McLeish. There's a free kick to Ryan, not paid. Play on, says the umpire, as things are getting a bit hectic now. David Doolan throws himself on top of the ball, comes out towards Mark Ryan. One bounce now, let's fly down towards the full forward position. Going off the hands of the pack, through for one behind only. A little bit unlucky for the Albury side. Byatt was on his own, couldn't quite get there. And Wodonga now go to a 1-point lead as Albury climb towards 5 goals 838. Wodonga 6 goals 339.
We're just about in the time on, Jim, in this quarter.
Yes, coming into the red as Reynolds kicks out from the full-back position. Out the far side, McNeil hasn't risen off the ground here this afternoon as Wodonga now break loose on the far side of the ground through Walsh. Coeli punches the ball away, but the umpire said it was a mark to Holland or in the back, And
I think he
he'll
might
take
have paid the free kick that time,
Yes,
Jim.
I think he probably did, and he's bringing him back a 15-metre penalty too as Oland comes in now.
And still a big kick into the ring.
Yes, up towards the full forward zone as Albury players fly high. Buckle gets a short one, and it's a bad one. Play on, says the umpire. Could have been lucky for Albury as the ball has held her player, and the umpire said, I'll have it, and he'll ball it up. But probably a very, very lucky let-off for the Tigers at that particular occasion.
I'm amazed how Wodonga have kept into attack this quarter, Jim.
Yes, my word, by determination, Bruce. That's how they've kept in as Terry Cross tries to get it kicked off the ground by Taylor. Reid leading in the race for the ball in front of Collins. Play on,
Could have been a
says the
kick there
umpire.
too.
Could have been a free kick as it's picked up by the bearded Wheeler. He gets the ball short further afield, and a beautiful mark has been taken by Oland. Oland now about 45 metres, 50 metres out from goal. A goal here just before half-time. It proved very, very handy to the Wodonga combination. Waiting now for Oland to come in.
He's a big kick too, Jim.
Yes, my word he is, but he's kicking against a breeze. Here's the kick.
Look at the kick, it's a
going
beauty.
to almost make the distance, not quite over.
Oh! What
Beautiful
about
mark.
that for the mark of the day so far, Jim?
Beautiful mark to the Wodonga forwards on that occasion. And there's Craig Walsh coming in to take that beautiful mark, and he's only 10 metres out, almost directly in front.
That was a beautiful mark.
And he has the chance to put the 7th major on the board, and once again, those Albury backmen literally refuse.
And there it goes. That was a beautiful mark, a really good kick from Oland. There's no two ways about that. It was a beautiful kick right up into the teeth of goal, and Craig Walsh, who's been one of the best half a dozen players for Wodonga, as a matter of fact, one of the best, I'd say, half a dozen players on the ground, took a great mark. He was thrilled with it. I don't know whether he was game to kick it or not.
Well, once again, Bruce, of course, this is the bad defence of Albury.
Right.
They are not prepared to put that fist in, and Peter Taylor is one of the main offenders.
And this is the difference between the two back lines, Jim, because Wodonga have been punching it away, okay, but we know that Bates got a couple of good breaks that time, and also, of course, Bite, and they did get those goals, but they've been more determined, and they've got that ball away out of the back line better than Albury every time.
Yes, and this time Peter Cross getting the tap out, goes towards Dickinson, he goes further afield. It bounces awkwardly for everybody on this occasion. In comes Rickson. He's pushed in the back. Play on, says the umpire, as Hensel gets the ball, hooks it around, but Bobby Craig right underneath it in the last line of defence takes the safe mark for Wodonga.
Now, Craig took the sit back there in that 10-metre square. There was no way that he was going to leave that goal unguarded.
Here comes a good kick from Bobby Craig up towards the midfield position, and up goes Owen, and Wodonga definitely holding sway in the air here in this second term. Well, there's the siren. I didn't hear it, but the umpire obviously did, luckily. And that is 7 goals, 3, 45 to Wodonga. Albury 5 goals, 8, 38. And that second term was a very, very good term as far as Wodonga were concerned.
But there, he's done some great camera work.
Yes, it's been some good shots, and just goes to show a little bit of imagination too by our production crew too, Bruce.
That's right. Well, it's been a tremendous first half, and we're looking forward very much, of course, to a great second half, as Hensel is now at the ball on the half-back line for Albury. Drives it forward again. They're kicking up into the wind this time. Punched away that time by Wodonga. Punched away that time by Tony Heather. Wodonga get it going up towards the wing again. And there's a nice mark taken right down here in front of our broadcast position by Headley, who's on the ground for his first appearance in the third quarter. Shooting the ball forward again, over the top of the pack it goes. It's punched away by Peter Taylor, but it's the ever-reliable Wheeler now that comes in. Slips over, but he gets a handball away back this time there towards the player in Sharp. Sharp shoots in towards goal. It could be touched through. No, it's cleared away. Kicked out there by Wodonga. There's Morton leading in the race of the ball, but it beats him out over the boundary line, and gee, Wodonga have gone into attack very quickly, Graham.
Yes, well, they've got the advantage of the breeze too, Bruce, and then over the half-time interval there, it has sprung up a little bit, and you can just see to the left of screen there a flag that's blowing pretty solidly. So I'd say that's probably a 3 or 4 goal breeze down to that bottom end.
But even though Wodonga, well, they still attacked in that second quarter, and Albury, well, they've got to make sure that they do the same this time. There's the ball being thrown in now on the far side of the ground. Players set themselves. Punched away that time by Trevor Leslie, but it's Evan Conant that comes in now. Grabs the ball, puts his left foot into it, shedding up towards goals again. Almost taken that time by the Albury player in Coelho, and the mark is going to be played to the big Morris medalist, who's played a true champion's game today at centre half back. There's Coelho now, driving the ball centre again. Oh, up before acceptance that time was the Wodonga player. in Craig Walsh, and he got into the back of Trevor Leslie, and Leslie takes the free kick now, driving Albury deep into attack on the far side of the ground. Punched away that time by Rob Craig, but it's Albury leading the race of the ball now. There's Terry Dillon, who's been one of the best men on the ground, coming in, pouncing on the ball, tries to get it, but I think the boundary line might have been a bit too close. And what's going to be the decision by the umpire? Going to be a free kick paid back there.
Against Byatt for an elbow.
Against Byatt. And there's Terry Dillon, whom I felt, Graham, has been a great player this afternoon.
My best player, Bruce, at the moment, Terry Dillon.
Absolutely. Flying high again, the Wodonga players. There's Trevor Leslie trying to get the ball away from over the back of the pack. Albury going into attack again. Flying out there, punching away was David McLeish, but Albury leading the race. The ball shoot forward now. Looking up there for their full forward in Bakes. It bounces. Bakes runs, turns around onto his right foot, tries to get back onto his left foot, hooks the ball back into the 10-metre square. Standing there, Byatt. What's the result? Yes, a great goal that time, and some great play that time by the Albury full forward. He changed his mind about 6 or 7 times that time, Graham, but he managed to get that ball back to Byatt, and by gee, you don't give him too many opportunities.
David Doolan, actually, tremendous play by him, and every time you see David Doolan, he's a thinking footballer, and he started that off and got the ball down there to that open area, and as you said, Baked 6 or 7 minds as to what to do, but
he didn't know which foot to kick it with. That's right, so there's another goal on the board. Now, there's Albury taking the ball away by Dickinson that time. Gets a kick forward, but it's the defence that time by Prendergast. Gets the ball back to Ron, but taken away again by Albury. Shooting it up, looking for Bakes. Oh, Bakes caught one that time from Reynolds. Tried to even up. It was good, strong play that time by Bob Craig. He kicks the touchline that time and puts it out of bounds on the half-back flank. The scoreboard reading out the first 3 minutes into the third quarter, 7-3-45 to 6-8-44, just 1 point the difference. Held without the ball that time, and
caught with the ball, Bruce.
With the ball, right? And you can't look at the scoreboard in the game at the same time, Bruce. Here's a free kick going down here now on the half-back line to Wodonga. The player that time was Wortman. Kicks it down there. Oh, a beautiful mark taken again by Olin. He gets up, plays on, gets a handball away quickly that time to Headley, who shoots the ball up towards centre-half forward. Wodonga underneath the ball that time, and a beautiful mark taken that time on the centre-half forward position, and that's young Craig Walsh, who's played a very, very good first half, and coming back now playing a very good mark that time, getting the ball now right on the edge of the diamond, coming in with the breeze. Oh, it's not a good kick. It's going to drop in the 10-metre square. Up they fly. It's the big arms that time of the waiting Coelho that takes the mark on his chest over the back of the pack. Rod Coelho now with the ball right on the boundary line, just beside the Wodonga behind post. Kicks in. There's Big Leslie, gets a sit underneath the ball, but it's punched away from him by Olin that time, and it's out of bounds just near the scoreboard, and reading 1 point in favour of Wodonga, 7-3-45 to 6-8-44.
Tony Heather's gone into the centre for Albury, Bruce.
Right, that's a pretty important change, I'd say, because he's been a good attacking player. He might give them some drive out of there, Graham. There's a good handball now. It comes out there towards Reid. Raz Reid gets beaten for the ball this time by Collins, and Collins, what's going to be the decision there, do you think, Graham? Yes, Collins gets the free kick. Johnny Collins, the dasher, comes in now on the half-forward flank for Wodonga, kicking with the breeze. He'll be looking up there, obviously, for Turner. It's a high kick, goes down towards the 10-metre square. Players set themselves. Up went Sharp that time, and went over the back of the pack. Coming in this time is the player in Wheeler. He runs around, spins over his shoulder. Up there, almost a mark taken that time by Wodonga. Ball goes to the ground. Sharp comes in, hooks it over. And what's it going to be? No, it's just 1 point. And they're really getting into attack this quarter, and it's nice to see a bit of sunshine on the ground too, just to make the condition a little bit better, although the wind has sprung up, Graham.
Yes, Bruce. Well, the other change too that I just noticed is that Prendergast has gone onto the half-back flank onto Jay McNeil, and well, we noticed Buckle kicking in, so Taylor must be in the back pocket.
There's a good mark to Albury on the far side of the ground that time.
Neville Hensel.
Neville Hensel it was, number 42. Hensel's kick now up towards the central wing position of the ground, and there's going to be a free kick paid further down the ground. And who's going to take this? It's Albury now driving the ball up to right up the centre of the ground. This is what they should have been doing in the first half, going the shortest way home. There's Tony Heather now, comes in, he's dispossessed, can't get a kick away. There's Wortman in there now, gets his boot to the ball, shoots it out towards Wheeler, and he takes the mark, and the umpire's looking behind him. There could have been a bit of shenanigans behind the play that time. The ball goes up towards a full forward position, almost taken away that time by Wodonga, but kicks through, just beats young Walsh that time and goes through for yet another point. And that puts them 4 points in front now on the scoreboard. And we've played about 6 minutes into this third quarter, and a vital third quarter of football it is too. The 1981 Ovens and Murray Grand Final. You're watching it, of course, on Channel 4. Trevor Leslie gets the tap away this time. This allows John Collins to get a break in the ball. He runs him out onto his left foot. Handball over that time to David McLeish. David McLeish shoots a short pass in, and there's a beautiful passage of football that time from Wodonga. And the mark taken that time, a true centre-half forward by their full forward in David Turner. He's already kicked 2 for the match. David Turner now right on the edge of the diamond, comes in, ready to put boot to ball and drive the Bulldogs deep into attack. I'd say he'd have no trouble making the distance. The ball's on its way. It's a big kick. The goal umpire moves around. And that's a very, very important and a vital goal, that one, Graham.
Yes, well, I think Wodonga have got to kick 6 this quarter, Bruce, to have a chance in it, because that last quarter, the Breeze, as I said, picking up a little bit. And with the score at 8-5-53 to 6-8-44, Wodonga need at least another 5, and we're 8 minutes into that third quarter, and I think this is the most important quarter of this grand final.
That's right, and of course, as you see too, the big effort in the third quarter can take its toll on a side. So Wodonga have got a couple of things in mind. They get those scores on the board, but reserve a little bit to go into strong defensive football for the last quarter. There's Albury going forward now, but strong defence again by Wodonga, taking the ball away. Here's Wodonga now leading the race to the ball as we see Collins get the ball down and shoot a beautiful pass down there to Headley. Stephen Headley now with the ball on the half-forward flank. Drives Wodonga forward with a left foot kick. Coming out there is Buckle. The ball, the bounce of the ball beats him. It's still in play, but goes out of bounds just behind the behind post down the Wodonga attacking into the ground. Yes, the weather, we've been very, very lucky with it. We've only had some very light showers here this afternoon at the Lavington Sports Ground. There's the ball thrown in now, tapped away by Leslie. Coming in there is Wheeler. He's got the run of the ball, comes in, runs around a player, drops the ball, the ball onto his boot, but goes through for 1 point only. And Graham, it's goals they've got to get, not points.
That's right. We have a look at the scoring shots at the moment. You find that they're 14 shots apiece, 8-6 to 6-8.
That's right.
And Wodonga, as I said only a couple of minutes ago, they need at least another 5 goals going into this last quarter, or going into the last quarter. They've got 20 minutes or so to do it now, and that's going to be very, very important to them. Right, although I do think that Wodonga are playing better as a team, Bruce.
That's right. Well, they started to play better in the second half of the second quarter, I thought, Graham. Players fly high. Coelho goes up. He can't get the ball. Here's the champion player now at Headley. By gee, he's played well since he's come on in the interchange. Here's the players set themselves now. Ball over the back of the pack. Kick taken away that time by Albury. There's the experienced Heather now. Gets the ball. Comes around the player. Drops it onto his left foot. Shoots it out here towards the central wing position. Could beat the players out over the boundary line. And, oh, that's dangerous. That bike tracks terribly hard. And Stephen Headley, I guess he could see that concrete coming closer with every stride. Ball thrown in now. Up they go. The big men fly. Tapped away by Leslie. Taken away that time quite nicely by Jay McNeil. There's the player going over there for Wodonga. Could have been a free kick. Almost grabbed too high that time, McLeish. And no, holding the ball, says the umpire. And the free kick will go to Tommy Doolan, getting his first kick for this third quarter.
Yeah, very clear that one, Bruce. McLeish just dropped the ball and threw one hand out.
That's right. There's Doolan's kick now, going forward. Players set themselves over the back of the pack there, but tapped on very cleverly that time by Collins. Good defensive football and taking the ball out over the boundary line. And I thought that that time that Byatt was a little bit hesitant, Graham. He came into the ball, looked to say what was going to pick it up, then changed his mind. And this allowed the Wodonga defence to get on top and try and clear that ball away.
Looks to be a lack of talk on the Albury forward line. I've noticed this from the start. Byatt hasn't been running in behind as he normally does and picks up those 2 or 3 goals.
That's right. Well, I thought there was a golden opportunity for him. Then he had a clear run, but he just seemed to hesitate that little bit, and this allowed the Wodonga backman to clear it away. There's the big tap now going to Allen. Wodonga going forward. Here's Connick coming out, the champion centre man. Oh, beautiful little chip pass down there to Headley. Oh, the lovely mark taken by Stephen Headley. And hasn't he played well, Graham, since he's come on this season? And he botched it up there a little bit. Here's Trevor Leslie now. Getting it away to Cross. Terry Cross drives the ball forward now. Players set themselves. Punched away that time by Greg Wood. The ball hits the ground. They're going in to get it as Peter Cross, but it's beaten him. Coming in now to try and pick it up as Dickinson. He can't get a clear run at the ball. Oh, picked up nicely that time by the Wodonga defence. Getting a kick down there towards Wheeler, but chipping in nicely is Parry. Parry, who's on the ground for the Tigers now. Wayne Parry, right in the centre of the ground, going to drive the Tigers forward again. Oh, running over the mark that time to Wheeler, and there'll be a 15-metre penalty paid. And Wayne Parry will have another shot from 15 metres down the ground. That'll take him pretty well as that breeze drops just a little bit. It'll take him right up into the scoring zone for the Tigers. Wayne Parry's kick now, going forward. It's a good one too. Players, oh, what a great mark. What a great mark that time with a champion full forward in Darryl Bakes. Had his name written on that one from the time it left Wayne Parry's boot. And he's come in there to put another score on the board for the Tigers. I don't think he'll have much trouble with this one. Here's Darryl
Just
Bakes
out of
now.
camera too, Bruce. Bob Craig went to the ground very heavily. Then I see him there standing up.
Yes, he
holding
fell
his
actually,
chin.
Graham.
Yeah.
He tried to impede the progress of Bakes and slipped just at the wrong moment. Darryl Bakes coming in, left foot kick straight towards goal. The goal umpires move the confidence, all clear. And that's the fourth goal on the board for Darryl Bakes. And he's the player that Wodonga